hold the mic. Hey guys, Jim Chester here. I'm with Herb Wood. This guy has been practicing for over 4 decades, just really helping perpetuate the future of the Gonstead technique. We're here in Mount Horeb. This is where the Gonstead practices. This is a very unique place to be. It's it's magical ground to stand on. Yes. And we are in Clarence Gonstead's personal office right now conducting these interviews. So I just want to say a warm welcome to Dr. Herb Wood, and thank you for joining me.
You bet. My pleasure. It's enjoyment being back at Mount Horeb again.
So tell me, what brought you here this weekend?
Well, of course, I always like to get together with a group of chiropractors that are all focused in the Gonstead technique. There's over 250 chiropractors here this weekend and students. And I was also inducted this weekend into the College of Fellows. Okay. With the Gonstead Clinical Studies Society. So that was another one of the main reasons that I came this weekend.
So what does it mean for you to see all these young students here?
Oh, this is great. When I first started attending Dr. Gonstead's seminars back in 1971, this is how many people were here at a regular seminar, between 250, 300 people. And so I had my first seminar when I was in my first quarter at Palmer, when we weren't supposed to go to outside seminars. But the doctor that drove me up here was the technique chair at Palmer College at the time, so I felt pretty safe.
So you've seen a lot of things change in chiropractic over the years, I'm sure. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing to preserve the Gonstead technique and to be a part of that. Okay.
Well, I teach what I call a boot camp seminar series. There's 6 seminars in that series, and I take the Gonstead work and just start from A to Z and go all the way through the technique. So it's not only a way of adjusting, it's a system of care. So we talk about the nervous systems, sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous systems, how we adjust for certain conditions in these different nervous systems. We go through motion palpation, we go through instrumentation. We have a few books that I've written about these topics. Excuse me. And then we go over things like extremity work, and then all the different techniques that Dr. Gonstead taught us as far as the chair work, pelvic bench, push-pull moves, knee-chest moves, high-low. So I try to cover everything that I learned those 7 years that I had of seminars with Dr. Gonstead before he passed.
So, big question for you. What have you seen change with the Gonstead technique?
Well, one of the reasons I got into it was that I started seeing the technique taught in some different ways that weren't including the original concepts that Dr. Gonstead was teaching us. And so I wanted to try to reintroduce what I learned directly from him. It's kind of the old story where you whisper in one person's ear at the end of the table, and as that whisper goes to the next person and it gets back around the table, it kind of changes. And so the farther that we got from the source, Dr. Gonstead, things started to change a little bit. And I thought it was important to reintroduce some of the things that I thought were changed that maybe shouldn't be changed or maybe should be looked at a little bit more. And so that's another one of the reasons that I started the seminars, was not only to reach out into more of the schools that used to teach the Gonstead work, but now don't. I wanted to make sure that we could reach more students who don't have the opportunity to use the Gonstead work in their colleges because they either won't let them or they don't even teach it in the college. So as a result, I've gotten into some of the colleges that have strayed away from the Gonstead concepts and away from chiropractic, to be more specific. And so over the course of the last 5 years now, I've gotten into these colleges that just don't have any Gonstead or very little Gonstead teaching going on at their colleges.
So I know you do something really special, man. You told me that you travel extensively doing these trainings. Let's talk a little bit about how far-reaching it is what you do.
You mean the amount of travel?
Yeah.
Well, the last 2-3 years, I teach between 30 and 35 seminars a year. So I'm on the go quite a bit. My time off is usually built around college vacation times and holidays and board times. But it's truly a joy. I wish the travel wasn't part of it, but it's a necessary part of the experience, and I don't mind it as long as I get to reach into more people's lives and get the Gonstead work spread around more.
Yeah, that's really cool. You know, and I hear that the Gonstead technique's very specific, yes. And there's certain ways that you guys get the subluxations to set. Yes. And I know that there's so many dynamics within the 24 vertebrae. Some people say there's 33 movable joints within the spinal column, going all the way down to the sacrum and all that stuff. Yes. Why is it so important to get the right set for the primary subluxation?
Well, when a vertebra slips out of position, it goes out a certain way. And so if we're going to talk about just the vertebra in the spine, then from C2 down to L5, those vertebrae are going to go posterior first. And so they're going to go backward first. That's the first direction that they can misalign. And then they're going to rotate right or left. And then if there's a swelling on the disc on one side or the other, we're going to have a wedge. And so when we adjust that patient, we want to reverse that process that it came out. So that's why you won't find a Gonstead doctor adjusting the right side of the neck and then moving over and doing the left side of the neck, because the bone has gone out either to the right or to the left. It doesn't go out both directions. Mm-hmm. So we want to be specific in how we realign that vertebra to put it back exactly where it should be, if it can go there. It can't always, because sometimes we have degeneration. What the patient presents us with a spine that's just, it's not normal. It's not 100%. So we can't get 100% out of a 50% disc. Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things I tell people is chiropractic's not really interested in your bones. They're interested in your nervous system, and you're interested in your bones because what happens is if you don't take care of them with good chiropractic care, eventually they will decay and degenerate, and they'll follow the course of action of what you're telling me will happen. Is you come in after you've been neglecting your spine for so long. It's not that you know any better. It's just because you didn't know any better.
Right. Yeah. Patients don't know anything about chiropractic. They don't understand what we do. So it's good to get that message out that we just want to realign the spine and get the pressure off the nerves, let the body function like it's supposed to, and do that to the best of our ability.
So we have to continuously fall back on the tenets of what the chiropractic philosophy stands for, and those are 33 principles. Yeah. That's understanding that, keeping in the vernacular of the chiropractic profession, we must stand on the tenets of vertebral subluxation, we must stand on the tenets of innate intelligence, and we have to be not loud, but more proud about what chiropractic history is.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
So I'm going to close out with one last question. Where do you see the chiropractic profession going in the next 5 years?
Well, that's a good question. I think it could be on teetering. I would definitely like to see it become more influential in the healthcare of the nation. People need chiropractic care. There's just no other alternative really to having full health. You have to make sure that you have a good healthy spine, good healthy nervous system. So I want to see chiropractic adjustments get back into the picture more strongly, and get away from some of the other things that people kind of think is weird in chiropractic. Get back to adjusting people, let them know that chiropractic is actually adjusting the spine to correct the subluxation or the misalignment that's causing them to be in pain or to have some other malfunction of a gland or organ in the body.
Yeah, and a lot of times I tell people the reason most people don't utilize chiropractic services is because, number one, they don't know where to go or who to trust.
Yes.
So when we have chiropractors that have a high level of certainty on analyzing, detecting, and correcting vertebral subluxation, then we have a whole team of chiropractors that are competent on the techniques that they use.
Yes, that's good. I was just thinking as you were saying that, just to go back a little bit, one of the main reasons that I decided to get back into teaching full time like this was the graveside promise that I made to Dr. Gonstead on the day that we buried him. I stayed after everybody else left and just had a little conversation with him, and I promised him that I would carry his work to as many people as I possibly could. And so that's probably the biggest part of the motivation for doing it.
Well, Dr. Herb, thank you for sharing your message.
Bet.
And thank you, everybody, that's tuned in for this live interview. I just want to let you guys know you're just one story away. Keep telling the story and keep hustling. Thank you so much.